We open on a dark and stormy night, on an island in the middle of the ocean. The trees sway in the wind, which howls as it moves. Thunder rolls and lightning strikes as our heroes approach what can only be described as the most haunted house they've ever seen. Welcome to Mysteries in the Machine.
Kids, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Ethan.
Oh, and once again, the back of the mystery machine is opening up. Who could it be? Who's joining us today?
It's me. It's I don't know how to introduce myself. It's me. I'm Brayden.
Who are you? What do you do on the internet?
I am an internet person of Percy Jackson fame and infamy, and that's probably generous to myself, but I am one of the hosts, and the producer and editor of Return to Camp Half-Blood, an unofficial Percy Jackson podcast that analyzes it as if it was a book that is worth analyzing in an English class. It is a book worth analyzing in an English class. Correcting myself. But English classes don't believe that.
He was an English teacher, right? So it's worth analyzing as if it's literature.
I mean, if my middle school English teacher can assign The Hunger Games as assigned reading, surely Percy Jackson can.
Exactly, and that is our conceit. Yeah,
it's a very good way of doing it. You know, everybody's gonna have their little shtick.
You gotta have a shtick to be competitive in this market.
Mm-hmm.
The podcasting market.
Y'all are in your own little world that I only have limited experience with. So
you do a great job on my other Percy Jackson podcast. We got the Percy Jackson podcasters meeting on a Scooby-Doo podcast. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You know what? It's all good.
We can do
We're good.
Yeah.
Well, Brayden, would you like to tell the people your pronouns and your history with Scooby-Doo?
Yes. Brayden, he, him pronouns. I have a long-standing history with Mystery Inc. I grew up my parents really liked Scooby-Doo, so it was a great thing for me to watch as a kid that my parents could watch with me and enjoy. So obviously the classic Scooby-Doo series and all of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons generally, when they used to air on Boomerang. I don't know if Boomerang still exists anymore. I don't know if TV channels really exist anymore.
Actually, Boomerang does still exist.
There's an app for it, so technically it exists.
It's true. That's true. I feel like everything's on HBO Max now, which may have.
I mean, that's where I watched this.
Yeah, that's where I watched this as well. So, but yeah, I really liked the classic stuff. The big for me in Scooby-Doo was the 2000s movies.
Same.
By James Gunn himself. I loved those movies. I think those movies made me queer. Something about seeing Sarah Michelle Gellar kick a wrestler into I don't know. She was so badass in a way that made me queer culturally. Did not make me attracted to men, but made me like women in a queer way.
I get that.
I understand this.
Yes.
I also was just wow, I'm attracted to her.
Yes. Oh, she also is very hot in that movie.
Her and Linda Cardellini are just absolutely peak in those movies.
Incredible. And Freddie Prinze Jr.
God, don't even get me started. I mean, even Matthew Lillard, all of them are hot, okay?
Yes. Yeah.
How dare they make Mystery Incorporated so hot in live action?
But it's also, frankly rude. It's rude.
Yeah. Literally, they made a cartoon into humans so perfectly.
They really did. And I'm
Yeah.
holding out for Scooby-Doo 3 featuring that cast. I know it'll happen one day. With all of these cash grab, revival, everything, you can't bring me back the one thing I want.
There is always a chance, but I don't think James Gunn will come back.
Fair. He has a lot on his plate now. But he's at Warner Brothers.
He is, but he's running DC, which is a whole thing.
A job I don't envy.
Crossover?
Listen,
Scooby-Doo always
there's
meets
already
Batman.
precedent for this. There's already precedent for this.
Scooby-Doo and Batman.
Scooby-Doo and Batman spend so much time together.
They really do.
Literally besties, okay? It's canon. I love that for them so much.
Really do.
Just like every time you watch a Scooby-Doo media, you have to imagine, you know what? Batman is in Gotham right now. Like, the DC universe is just canonical to the Scooby-Doo universe. They're the same place.
Yeah. They even did like a gritty Scooby-Doo comic run in DC for a while.
Yes.
It's like a post-apocalypse type of deal.
Scooby-Pocalypse.
Yeah.
It is on my reading list.
Same. I have not read it.
If we do any of the comics, I feel like we're gonna have to do Scooby-Pocalypse.
Oh, we definitely will.
Because, that's the one that, diverges from everything so much. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, we are here, and
we are very, very queer.
We are. All three of us are. As of recording, it is the second day of Pride Month, so happy Pride, everybody. This is probably not going to come out during Pride Month. That's okay. Pride is year-round.
Oh, it might. But, I'm looking at the schedule. It might. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So we have a very, well, I guess maybe Knives Out copied this, but we covered Knives Out pretty early on the show.
Yeah. I mean, we release these on Mondays, and April Fool's Day was a Monday this year, so I was just like, we gotta just do Knives Out or something. Just something that's not Scooby-Doo, but it's relevant, that nobody will notice. And you know what's funny? Robert didn't notice when they were listening.
No, they didn't, which
I will
is so
call them
funny.
out.
That's very funny.
Robert was like, this? Is this a Scooby-Doo episode? And then they realized it was just fucking Knives Out.
Which was the point, But I say that because the gang is currently on their way to a will reading.
Yeah!
Of one Colonel Beauregard Sanders.
Colonel Sanders?
Yes. That's his name.
Colonel Sanders,
I know.
So funny. I was like, when did Colonel Sanders, the eponymous chicken chef, come about? Does it predate this? Does it follow?
Yes. KFC was founded in 1952. So,
okay,
yes.
I was going to say, does it? Cool. So they did, in fact, copy KFC.
They know what they did. They know what they did.
As long as they know, and we know. Everyone knows.
I mean, I guess my next question, though, is Colonel Sanders of KFC also have a relation to the Confederacy?
Let me double check. I don't think so.
Unclear.
Okay. He was born after the Civil War, so I don't think so. I think he was a colonel in World War II.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's still just a colonel from the South, therefore...
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a great look.
No. It's okay. No. Just being from the South doesn't always mean that you're a bad person. Okay? No. Rick Riordan is from Texas.
True.
And we still like him.
He's gotten better.
Everyone can get better. It's okay.
But Colonel Sanders has listed Scooby-Doo on his inheritance because he saved him from drowning.
Scooby is gonna earn all of the KFC money. We love that for him.
Honestly, I think Scooby would just want KFC instead of the money.
Seriously, just imagine that plot twist, though, where instead of opening the thing and it's the Confederate money, it's just KFC chicken.
Oh boy.
Just a suitcase full of KFC chicken.
No. The inheritance is the 11 herbs and spices. The recipe.
Oh, there you go. That I get it. It makes sense to me. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the gang gets to this creepy haunted mansion
on an island.
Really decrepit.
I want to live there. I get it.
The vibes are immaculate.
You have no neighbors.
Honestly, that's a selling point to me.
As far as haunted old castles go, it's definitely up there in like livability.
Yeah.
This is our second time going on an island, I think, in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, the first one was Hassel in the Castle, right?
Yeah. So, like, we had a castle on an island, now we have a mansion on an island. There we go. So why was Scooby named? Oh, sorry.
I was saying, whenever they're on an island, you know it's going to be a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very, like, concealed to this one location.
Anyway, Charlie, you were saying?
Why is Scooby named in this well again?
Because Scooby saved the Colonel from drowning.
I just love that, like, so much.
Yes.
Which, like, this is a very interesting piece of Scooby-Doo lore, because we've never seen him help a man of his own free will.
Scooby is the hero, canonically. He gets rewarded for a lot of things, very consistently, but we never really see him do much, not to undermine Scooby's herodom, but you never there's so many off-camera feats that are mentioned.
There are, yeah.
Yeah.
We do see some things on camera. Like later on, I feel like that's more of the modern Scooby-Doo media thing that happens.
They got him.
Every time there's police in somebody's background, it's like, wow, they're coming for you.
Yeah.
Well, Brayden, I live like on a busy street, so it happens pretty frequently. So every time a police car comes by with the sirens, I was like, they got me.
Yeah, no, I also live on a very main road in the center of Philadelphia and right near a fire station. So
love that for you.
Indeed.
You and your podcasting life.
Yes, yeah. It makes things really great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Scooby is a hero. He did a thing, and it's in the newspaper because, like, wow, this guy named a dog in his will? So weird. What is this, the Aristocats?
Very similar plot to the Aristocats, huh?
I think Aristocats came out like a few years before this.
It definitely did.
Aristocats came out in 1970.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
This episode was released January 10th, 1970.
Well.
Okay, the Aristocats was released on Christmas Eve, 1970. What?
Exactly enough amount of time to see this episode of Scooby-Doo and go, what if it was cats?
Perhaps.
Mayhaps.
Yeah. And of course, Max is like not working today, so I can't play the episode alongside doing this. My evil plan is not working.
I mean, I've got it up.
Thank you, Ethan.
So they are greeted at the door by
Creepy Man number one.
Creepy Man number one.
Literally.
Like, they have one face for creepy people, and they keep using it.
Mm-hmm. You gotta love it. Like, it's gotta be creepy old dude. And listen, his name is Creeps.
Cause good creeps.
And his partner, Cuthbert Crawls, could not be there tonight. But don't worry about it. He's
fine.
He's one of the lawyers for our deceased. So he's gonna share this will with them. Except it's not a will.
I love someone reading their own will as a trope. Whether it is played on a record, whether it is a video, any way someone reads their own will, that's taste.
Indeed.
You gotta love it. It's like, hey, look, I'm super cool. I'm still the star of the moment, even if I'm dead, actually. So. This
reminds me of Spider-Man Far From Home, where Tony Stark leaves Peter Parker the Edith glasses, and Edith stands for even dead, I'm the hero.
Yes.
Correct. We love that.
Arguably the weakest entry in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Fair. I don't know if I enjoy No Way Home as an event. I don't think it's as strong of a film.
It's like a you had to be there to experience it kind of deal.
Yeah, it's like the experience carries a lot of the movie for me, and I don't think it's bad, but I think there could have been an even better movie in there, but I don't think it would have made as much money. And I
probably not. Nostalgia is a very powerful motivator.
Exactly.
True. They're all amazing movies, though, I think.
No, I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying I like others better than it.
Yeah. I just don't want to discount it. Sometimes even your least favorite is still an amazing movie. So
that's true.
Okay. Well, we got to meet the other people who also could inherit this money. We have our 4 heirs to the Sanders fortune.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they get introduced. Like you go like across the couch, meeting all of them, seeing all their different faces. We got Cousin Slicker, Cousin Simple, Nephew Norval, which I thought it was Norval. I didn't have my captions on.
The captions I have on say that it's Norval.
And the wiki says Norble with a B.
Whoever's editing that wiki is wrong, apparently.
I don't know. Maybe they're right.
Maybe they are.
Who's to say? And then we have sweet Cousin Maldehyde, because the feminine one has to be, a sweetie, of course.
The 60s. 70s. Still not great, though.
We've entered a new decade, and yet, we're still like this. It's okay. It's not,
Alas,
but we will get better as Scooby-Doo goes on, eventually.
Yep, yes. Probably not till our lifetime, but it's alright.
Yeah. Now, like, all of these cousins also have, like, weird... They have their, like, little weird iconic looks.
They all have their own color, too.
Yeah.
That's associated with them. Like, Simple is blue, Norval's wearing gray, but his skin is, like, greenish?
Yeah.
Is he okay?
I thought they all had green skin or something.
Maldehyde is wearing green.
Okay, let me look up pictures.
And then Slicker is wearing a light pink shirt with a dark pink tie and a brown suit. Okay.
It's a lot.
This man is some flavor of fruity. I could not place my finger on what type. The vibes are there.
Don't worry about it. I was like, are these names supposed to be like telling you something about their character very simply? Like, whose name is Slicker? Whose name is Simple? Like...
They could be nicknames for some of them.
They're from the South. I don't understand.
It is like Cousin Maldehyde seems like a clear formaldehyde.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
That's what I was thinking too. I just couldn't figure out why they cut off they cut off 4 from the front of the name, but
could just be having fun.
Why not?
I don't get it.
I don't either. I don't know what they were trying to do with this, but
there's an interesting naming convention happening here.
Yep.
So I'm not sure what's happening. But the stipulation for them all to earn money in this will, I'll share it. They each get 1/5 of the fortune. 1/5 of, $1 million?
Yeah.
In 1970? Lots of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Their stipulation is that they have to spend 1 night in this house. This house is haunted. Yes, it is haunted.
Love.
So the gang is like, okay, we'll stay with you, Scooby. Don't worry about it. And the lawyer is like, I will come collect you in the morning, see who's left, and give you the money. So as we have often with Scooby-Doo, we have Fred, Shaggy, and Scooby sharing a room because the boys have to stay with the boys. Who knows what Velma and Daphne are doing in their room together?
We know what Velma and Daphne are doing in their room.
Oh, yeah, we do. So I just looked up the inflation from 1970 to today. $1 million in 1970 would be $8,081,134.02.
Wow.
So
gotta
lots
love
of money.
that inflation.
Capitalism, the real villain of Scooby-Doo.
Yes, absolutely. So
and everything else, really.
Scooby is gonna take a bath. Don't we love a dog that can give himself a bath?
I wish Bella could give herself a bath. I really do. Because, I don't bathe her. I only bathe her about once a month, right? But it's always an ordeal. She hates being... Well, here's the thing. Bella is part lab, right? Labradors love water, but only when they want to get into the water.
Mm-hmm.
So she will fight me when I try to bathe her sometimes. And I take her
That's a big dog.
I take her to this pet store, and they have these blow dryers. She hates the noise those make, and I don't know how to help with that.
Poor baby.
She's okay though. She's actually probably just outside the door because she is a Velcro dog. I
love your Void dog. She's very good.
She's a good girl.
So, Fred is reading a book, and Shaggy is eating a super shaggy sandwich, which has many food items. almost including some fish food. And
He puts
and
fish food on top of it.
And then the fish gets so mad, like tiny goldfish is like, "Rawr!"
What a great classic cartoon gag is Goldfish cameo.
Yeah, why did old cartoons love to do that so much?
Did we also
Specifically with goldfish.
I feel like we had to have had more goldfish as a society too. I'm not seeing fish that often, and they're not goldfish. They are.
Yeah, I've seen more fish at like doctors' offices than in people's houses.
That's where they belong.
Yeah, according to Finding Nemo, at least.
Yeah. I don't remember what kind of doctor it was when like, oh yeah, it's a dentist.
Yeah, he's got his fish in the dentist office. You gotta have those. I just love that this fish is like, no, that's my food. Get the fuck away.
Mm-hmm.
Shaggy's like, okay. So Scooby is doing his little thing. He's going to dope ba dope ba dope ba dope ba dope ba dope, and he's giving himself his bath. Nothing terrible could happen from this, right? Right?
Never.
The wall behind the tub slides up, and Scooby slides down a chute into the basement.
Like, this is the most fucking ridiculous thing.
Listen, Charlie, you want to live in this house. There's going to be secret passageways because secret passageways are just whimsical and goofy.
I mean, I want to live in this house. I do not want this bathroom. Like if this happens, I think I would be scarred for life. I would be like, I can never trust a bathroom again.
Yeah, it's also the wall that has the pipes in
it.
How do you get water into the tub?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it just works. It's fine.
Sure.
I was already scared of bathrooms because I used to think that Pennywise could just come out from the sewers. And now I'm just like, God damn, someone is gonna like toss me out of the tub and into the basement. I have no control over the bathroom whatsoever. My one safe haven, besides under the covers.
Sometimes you just go to the bathroom, just decompress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be
if I'm socializing and I get overwhelmed, I'll just go to the bathroom. Be like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Ground myself.
A refuge.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just need it. Yeah, so Scooby is in the cellar. He's on a pile of coal, and then there's a scary ghost. Green, chain rattling, wonderful laugh. You gotta love it.
Real Jacob Marley type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Very classic ghost. Like when you think of Scooby-Doo, this is easily one of the images that comes up.
Yep. Listeners, you can't see it, but Charlie is wearing a sweatshirt with one of these ghosts on it.
Yes.
It's quite the iconic sweatshirt. They wear it often when we record.
Hot Topic merch. We love.
Of course it is.
Although this merch did in fact make it blue instead of green. So like, what are you doing, Hot Topic?
What are you doing, Hot Topic? Get your shit together.
Yeah, so poor Scooby is all dirty. Did not get to finish his bath. He goes to explain what the heck happened to him, and Shaggy's like, what? No, it's bolted to the floor. Shaggy and Fred are like, this didn't happen to you. I'm sorry. Good night. Just classic Scoob, being a little too anxious. Don't trust the dog.
And then the clock strikes midnight.
Dun, dun,
and
dun.
The ghost also strikes, taking Cousin Simple away.
That's the thing. Like, previous watches of this, I've been like, oh yeah, no, like them, the dummies, like, that we see later on in the coffins, I thought that was, like, actually just the people, and, like, they had been taken, not necessarily killed, but, like, like, some form of, like, kidnapped.
Like, unconscious, just in there. Yeah.
That's what I thought was going on.
They really make it feel like it. That's clearly their intention.
Yeah.
That is not allowed by standards to happen on children's TV. But the effect comes across.
It definitely does.
Yep. If this were, in fact, some form of, like, live action, mature, I feel like that's probably what would have happened.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, so he's gone, and all we find is his nightcap. Oh no. And
but wait.
There is a terrifying message in a mirror. What does the message say?
The first is gone, the rest will go, unless you leave the island and row, row, row. Signed, the Phantom Shadow.
Bars.
Wow.
Spitting bars.
Terrifying.
Kendrick Lamar who? I'm just kidding. I like Kendrick Lamar a lot.
So the gang is like, well, we have to catch this ghost. Now it's not just like, hey, we're hanging out and we're gonna like get some money and there's like whatever, maybe it's a haunted house or something. This is not your typical mystery, right?
No. And honestly, we'll get into it later, but this is definitely one of the better episodes mystery-wise that we've gotten from this series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did really think I thought that Cousin Simple was in on it because the first person to disappear is always a little suspicious.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, you could always think that, like, what if all of the cousins are trying to get Scooby? You never know.
Yeah.
I thought it was Cousin Slicker because he insisted on going to bed.
There you go. But maybe it's the lawyers. Maybe the lawyers are evil. You never know.
You never know.
So, the gang comes up with one of their plans, which is to have a dummy of Scooby and catch the ghost when he comes to grab Scooby. And
sure,
everyone's in position. And then Scooby and Shaggy are like, we're not going to be in the room. The safest place to be is outside on the drain pipe. Is that the safest place to be?
Even if what happens next doesn't happen, you can't hold on forever. Like,
you're not Shaggy or Scooby.
Clearly, I am not.
You're not that skilled.
Skill issue. My bad. But while they're out there, the ghost from a floor above them pushes the drain pipe, which, like, I know this house is rickety. I didn't think it was that rickety.
I mean, the drain pipe already has one human and a dog on it. I think all it needed was a little bit of a push.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about how much both of these characters weigh. Like, This is a lot of weight on this drain pipe.
It's like at least 300 pounds to start.
Yeah.
And then you add Velma, which is probably like over 400 at that point.
Yeah. Hey, most of that is muscle, again.
That's true. Velma definitely gets to show off how jacked she is in this episode.
Brayden, we have an ongoing theory that under the turtlenecks, Velma is secretly super jacked. And that's why she usually ends up carrying the entire gang on her shoulders or what have you. She's built different, okay?
Velma is built different.
So we have pushed the drain pipe, and all three of them are swung down into a cave underneath the house?
Sure.
This is one of the bigger stretches, but you know what? You gotta accept it and move on.
Cartoon logic.
Listen, I'd love to have a cave under my house.
Me too. I want a secret passage.
Always.
And then they're following the footsteps of a ghost? Like...
Sure. Ghosts have footprints. That's how that works.
Totally. Absolutely. We're in our secret passage, and there is a room with Civil War stuff. Yay.
Not just Civil War stuff. Confederate Civil War stuff.
Yay.
Whoa.
I mean, it was pretty clear that the Colonel was involved in the Civil War in some capacity. No, they just said he collected stuff from the Civil War. Yay.
He collected it, but he was also, like, a Confederate? So...
And maybe he was one of those people who did Civil War reenactments. It would have been over 100 years since the Civil War ended when this episode aired.
I'm just wondering what his plan was by the end of it, because, like, how old and senile was he to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna leave them all of this money that is worthless?
To a dog.
I don't know.
Was this an elaborate prank?
Maybe.
Because I always took this, like, as the most serious thing possible. Just, like, He was a Confederate soldier, and he was leaving all this money in all seriousness to these people. Thought it was worth something.
So the Civil War started in 1861, right? If the Colonel was, like, let's just say 16 when the Civil War started, to make him, like, fighting age, right? He would have had to have been born in 1845. That means that this man would have to have been at least 115 when he died. If that is the case.
Definitely a stretch.
Again, leads to the being so senile that he thinks that this is worth money.
Do people live that long?
In theory, they do. There are people, in fact, that are over 100. Not a lot.
Yeah, but like 115?
And
How old is
50
the
years
oldest
ago.
person?
I think the oldest person on Earth is in like their 120s.
116 years old.
Okay, so it's possible, but very, very unlikely.
List of verified oldest people on Wikipedia.
What?
Okay, the oldest person lived 122 years. Oh my god, only died like 2 weeks before I was born.
Wow. Wild.
Amazing. Okay, so it's a lot of like 111, 112, 113.
Okay. So possible, but highly unlikely.
But then there's the idea that maybe this was all an elaborate prank.
Yes.
That he was pulling on the cousins.
Then again,
And Scooby.
old money can be worth a lot.
Fair.
That's true.
You could give that to a museum.
If I were to sell Confederate money to a museum, right? I'm sure it's worth something.
Does Google have an answer for us? We must know.
Okay, so from April 5th of this year, they can be worth anywhere from $5 to thousands.
Okay.
And it depends on the demand and condition. So,
Well, I presume these are very much in good condition.
yeah, presumably.
So maybe they are actually worth a lot of money.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just that you can't spend that money. You have to sell it to get real money.
Yes. No, I do also just think it would be funny if it was just like,
It would be very funny. Yeah.
I'm gonna prank my cousins and the scarediest dog in the world by making them stay in this house.
Yeah, because, like, he fully intended for them to stay at the house no matter what. Because, like, unless the lawyers put him up to that just so they could get the money away from him, that was his intention from the get-go.
That leads to the senile thing for me. That's like,
Okay.
like he was so old and senile that like they could pull one over on him and be like, "No, you should totally do this." Like whatever, you know.
Okay. I can see that.
So
Anyway, in this room, this collection room of Confederate memorabilia, a haunted uniform comes out from a big pile and starts to chase Shaggy and Velma and Scooby around.
Yep, just a haunted uniform.
Classic haunted uniforms.
But in fact,
It's just a duck.
it's just a fucking duck.
Which, like, that's a strong-ass duck if it can lift a full, like, coat like that.
This duck is the best character in the episode.
Honestly.
It is, like, logistically, I do question both the ability to carry the weight and the ability to fly like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a strong duck if it can do that.
I love that this duck has a page on the fandom wiki. So,
It
like,
does?
yeah, so many things have pages. Sweet Cousin Maldehyde does not have her own page, but this duck has a page.
That is not true. She does.
She does? Okay,
She does.
It wasn't linking it over here. Why is there no link over here?
I don't know. I see it.
I don't see it when it lists the cousins. Okay, whoever edited the Night of Fright is No Delight page. Awful. Terrible. How
Count
dare
your
you.
days.
Get it together.
Get your shit together, please. But the duck has a page, and that's the most important thing. Under its skills and abilities,
I was just
its
reading
wings
that.
make it possible to fly.
Thank you, Wikipedia editor. You're something.
We love this.
Big fan.
I love duck.
I think that person's an alien just learning how ducks work.
Sure. Let's go with that, Ethan.
Yeah. So then they get into the old elevator, and it goes up to Cousin Slicker's room.
Oh, interesting. Another clue for it should have been one of the cousins, maybe? Or it could have been one of the cousins? Okay. So, he's missing. The gang meet up. They're like, well, all of the other ones are missing. Only their nightcaps are left. So Scooby is the only one left. That's it. And this is when Shaggy's just like, wow, we're all alone on this creepy island in the middle of the night. It's storming. There's ghosts. Nothing could be scarier. We just need an old organ.
And then an organ starts playing.
Thank you, Shaggy.
He manifested it into existence.
He did. So they go find the organ, and then there's something written on the music book.
It says, feed the organ and watch the floor.
And then Scooby comes out in a cute little costume. And he's like, I'm gonna play the organ. I love this for him.
So Scooby is playing the organ. They try to watch the floor. Nothing's happening. And then the walls start closing in. Because of course they do.
Yes.
That's why I really wanted to talk about this episode, because just again, another classic Scooby-Doo trope hit. Like, it's really an episode that plays the hit.
It definitely does.
Listen. So much of this episode gets adapted into the famous Scooby-Doo movie that I keep referencing, the Boo Brothers.
Yes,
we have our Confederate General, Colonel Beauregard. We have our creepy house that's haunted. We have our organ that has like weird keys that lead to a trap door or trap room. Like, so many things from this are then put into a different movie. And I think it's hilarious.
Love that for them.
Even the terrible accents.
Yeah, but Velma figures out that you have to play the notes F-E-E-D on the organ instead of actually, giving it a sandwich or something.
Also, the walls are closing in. Don't worry about it. That never gets resolved, really.
But clearly Scooby did something to stop it.
Yeah.
You never know what, but it's fine.
It's fine. So we go down the trapdoor, and this is where we find the coffins with apparently they're dummies of the heirs inside of them. And then there's one coffin that is dog-shaped.
Dun dun dun.
Fuck! So now we have not one, but two green, giggling ghosts. Scooby is so terrified he's fainted, and now we have to get the fuck out of here.
Yep, they pick him up and run away, and they bonk him. He bonks his head on the top of the archway, and they drop him.
Don't worry about it. Shaggy has to give him a Scooby snack to wake him up, and then they're just running. Just lots of running. Scooby and Shaggy are hiding in a chandelier from the phantoms.
And they think they're hot shit because they're like, haha, they can't get us up here. And then a ghost hand comes down from the ceiling with bolt cutters and just cuts the chandelier, and it falls through the floor.
As you do, I guess.
I don't know.
I love this thing with the corks though, where Shaggy just finds them and then like uses them like they're bullets against the phantom.
Hey, if you got hit with a bunch of corks, it would hurt.
Yeah, it's actually terrifying.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. And then Scooby and Shaggy have to do their classic outfits. They run into a closet, emerge gay. I'm sorry, they're They're dressed up. Scooby's in drag, as he usually does.
Scooby is in drag.
Shaggy, I think, is wearing a Confederate uniform.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. That's what they got.
It was on hand, he had to.
It's what they have to work with. They're dancing with the phantoms.
Sure.
And this is how Shaggy ends up getting some green paint on his hands. But they just happen to be in the room with the organ, and they drop them into the trapdoor. So,
honestly, kind of a smart move.
Genius. Beautiful. Now we get to our trap. Okay. I've mentioned this trap before on past episodes. You were just like, what the fuck? Do you understand how amazing this trap is now?
Thank God.
We have a fan,
beautiful.
Some soap, an ironing board, and a washing machine. What could we do with it?
We're going to blow the ghosts, make them slip on the soap suds, launch them with the ironing board into the washing machine. Okay.
But instead, so much happens. At one point, the fan goes on in reverse. I didn't know they could do that.
I didn't think they could either.
I don't think fans can suck in...
This is like in Spaceballs, where the ship turns into a giant maid with a vacuum cleaner. Have you ever seen Spaceballs?
Yes.
No.
Okay, Brayden's seen Spaceballs. That's something.
Don't worry about it.
It's like the best Star Wars parody movie.
Yes.
If you have like an hour and a half, go for it.
It's funny. It holds up.
I have heard things.
Actually, I'm not gonna sign off on that it holds up because it has been a minute. But I think in my memory, it holds up.
I'd say it mostly holds up.
Yeah, okay. So instead, we get this contraption that is all of these items together. We're flying on the ironing board on a washing machine with the fan as the like propeller, I guess.
Yeah, we make a tiny prop plane that's like hovering a foot off the ground with this washing machine. So like, how powerful is this fan?
And then we're just chasing the phantoms, and it's fine. We still
They fly. They even
catch
fly
them.
out the window
Yeah.
and into the cave.
Literally amazing. I don't know how they're controlling this thing, but they are.
Shaggy says he's not. I'm assuming they're only controlling it by like leaning like you do on a motorcycle.
Yeah, there you go. But the phantoms get inside, and then we have unmasked them. I'm very confused at how this is paint and also not paint, but maybe it's just their hands are painted.
It is very like, did we even need the paint reveal? How it doesn't really pay off?
Not really, no.
It was to add, I guess, to the creepiness or something. I don't know. How would we get this amazing contraption without the paint, though?
That's true.
Fun fact, lawyers are evil. That's what we learned
Yes.
in this episode.
Yeah.
It was the
It's
lawyers.
creeps and crawls, the lawyers.
They scared everyone off. And then,
Except
as
Scooby.
we've mentioned several times already, the other gigantic plot twist is all of the fortune is just Confederate money. Oh, well.
Kind of a goated reveal. It's like...
It's not something you'd see coming. Like, if you paid attention, you might be able to, because, like, the Colonel collects Civil War stuff. Kind of an offhand line, but it is said.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. And then there's a flying bone that's maybe haunted. Scooby's not worried about it. He just eats it.
Honestly, would you be worried about it?
At this
Maybe not.
point, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm done. Spend it.
Well, Charlie, I think you know what time it is.
I do. But I also do know our guest has to leave a little bit early.
He does,
So-
that's true.
Brayden, let us know where the people can find you.
People can find me on the internet on places such as where you listen to podcasts. We are Return to Camp Half-Blood. You can also find... I do other stuff too. I'm a theater maker. And if you're interested in that, I have a theater company that I run, and it's called Next Life Theater Company. And you can find us on Instagram and TikTok and those such places. But thank you for having me. I'm sorry that I have to run, but work.
That's all right, Brayden. We're just glad you're here.
Yeah,
you.
no worries. Thank you for coming on. We'll be sure to get you on for another episode in the future.
Yes, please. Absolutely. I will talk about Scooby-Doo forever.
Awesome.
All right, well, we'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right. Well, now we know what time it is.
Yes, we do.
It's terror time again. This is the first episode of the 1970s, as we've already mentioned. We've entered the 70s. It still says 1969 in the title card. Don't worry about it. It's going to
It's
say
fine.
that for a little bit.
The Mystery Machine's not there, which, like,
'Cause
they
we came
took
in
a
on a
boat.
Oh well. There is a soundbite of the literally just like Big Ben chiming used for the grandfather clock when it strikes midnight. Wild.
Emphasis. We're just going to skip that next one.
I don't know why that's trivia. It's just the message on the mirror.
Yeah. The Shaggy Super Sandwich sounds virtually identical to the Super Shaggy Sandwich from Hessel in the Castle, but looks very different. Interesting.
Yeah.
2 Super Shaggy Sandwiches on
Just names are
episodes
swapped.
where they visit
It's fine.
a big house on an island.
Yeah. Shaggy does his super sandwiches sometimes. It happens.
Good for him.
Oh, we didn't even mention the pajamas because I didn't see it. But this is the first
Oh, yeah.
episode to have the gang in pajamas or different costumes. Don't we love that?
Yep. Running from the ghost in the basement, Scooby crashes through a door and makes a Yogi Bear-shaped hole. I was wondering why it looked like that.
Don't worry about it. I love that this is trivia. It's the first Scooby-Doo episode with the Will idea, the classic Will reading.
Mhm. A community theater production of a tax return.
Which okay, have I mentioned my favorite game ever is a game on the Wii called My Sims Agents. And guess what? They in fact have a Will reading mystery to solve
Yes.
in that game.
Yes. Love
it's
that.
amazing. And you learn that the butler was actually framed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Love that.
Sorry. Spoilers for a game that's existed for like 15, 20 years or so. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. The organ music came from Johnny Quest, another Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Love that. I did not know this is a similar plot to a Flintstones episode. A haunted house is not a home. And the only difference, the person who was supposed to be dead in that episode was not in fact dead. All right. Okay.
So, Charlie, I know you mentioned Boo Brothers, but this more directly correlates to the direct-to-video movie Scooby-Doo Franken-Creepy.
I've heard of, but I have not seen yet. So
me neither. Which actually Mr. Crawls features in instead of Mr. Creeps, and that's when his first name is revealed to be Cuthbert.
It says it's his first speaking role. Oh my god. There's a lot of different references in this movie. Okay, good
Yeah. Wait, it's whose first speaking role?
Cuthbert Crawls, because he doesn't actually speak in this episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, the next thing is literally from the movie that I was referencing. That Shaggy also has an Uncle Beauregard around the same age. Haha, haha. Also a Confederate.
Gross.
Colonel.
Anyway, we get a Scooby Natural crossover reference here.
It's not a reference, bud. Scooby Natural. This is the episode that they get sucked into in Scooby Natural.
Oh.
They get sucked into a Scooby-Doo episode, and that's the plot.
I thought it was its own thing.
I mean, it's its own... It's Scooby Natural is weird. There's reasons. There's a ghost in like the TV or something, and then I think Sam is watching this episode, or Dean is watching this episode. One of them is watching this episode. Yeah, Dean is like, Dean. I'm a fan of this. This is the best episode, and yeah.
Which, like, I get it. I understand. It's a good episode. And then for some reason,
they do in fact have the Mystery Machine in it. Probably because it's like, it's iconic. Can't just not have the Mystery Machine.
Yeah. So we got a few odds and ends here. So disguised as Scooby and Shaggy as the Confederate couple. We've got...
We had our wonderful trap that did not work, but...
it didn't work as intended, but it did work.
We technically also had another trap that's not mentioned on here, but like the dummy thing that also didn't work.
Yeah.
Scooby dummy.
Scooby was bribed from fainting with a Scooby snack.
We said zoinks 5 times, and we said gangway once.
Not the record, but it's a pretty high number.
And then we have our cultural references. Okay, so this is saying that, like, the Beauregard from Beauregard Sanders could be a reference to an actual Confederate general.
Potentially, yeah.
So, makes sense why that could be his name. And then Sanders comes from KFC. Love that.
Shaggy says don't fire until you see the green of his eyes, which is based on the famous phrase from the American Revolution, don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes. Ironically, most characters don't have whites on their eyes in this show.
Also, funnily enough, the green ghosts, their eyes are orange.
Indeed they are.
So, like, didn't really make sense.
No, it doesn't. But it's also apparently based on an Agatha Christie novel?
Yeah, I did not know that was based on Agatha Christie? I'm sorry?
Look, okay. I love Agatha Christie's work. I've never heard of this.
Okay. 10 strangers are invited to an island, isolated island. Their hosts are absent. They're accused of a crime. And one of the party dies suddenly. So one of them has to be the murderer. Okay. There's no will rating, but, you know, cool, creepy shit. There's a comic about this, as there usually is. We have, I guess, a reference in the Coulsonian Criminology Museum in Scooby-Doo 2.
Because of course there is.
Of course. There's a green ghost at the Crystal Cove Museum as well. And there's a reimagining of this episode in Be Cool Scooby-Doo, where there's a will, there's a wraith.
That's a much better title.
That's a good one. I mean, I do like A Night of Fright is No Delight, which I don't think we have said until this moment.
No, we haven't. But it's okay.
We just kind of went into it.
And Scooby Natural counts as an adaptation, which we've already discussed.
Yeah, good shit. Whose side are we on here? Are we siding with our creepy lawyers, Creeps and Crawls?
I'm gonna go with no, mostly because I don't know, they don't They don't try to kill anyone, I don't think. At least not outright. They just want to scare them away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just
like
scary.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me check the YouTube video and see what crimes they could be tried for.
What crimes can they be tried for? Traumatizing a dog who's taking a bath.
Animal abuse. Okay.
You have abused the dog, therefore you go to jail.
Okay, pretty short rap sheet for these compared to some other ones. Inheritance hijacking is a crime, punishable by 15 years in jail. Menacing, pretty common charge here. 8 counts, 3 years each. And 2 counts of child endangerment, 6 years apiece, getting a total of 51 years in prison for them.
There you go.
So, admittedly, a while, but not as long as some other ones.
Good riddance. Creeps and crawls.
And they're lawyers, so you never know.
I love the ending. Like, where they're going, they're gonna need a good lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Then again, inheritance law is very different from criminal law, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, was it a good mystery?
I think this is the best mystery of Where Are You?
I think I would agree with you. I think this might be the best one so far.
Because we have 5 suspects, right? At least to start. Definitely,
we have the most people.
We do. We've got 5. We have the 4 cousins and creeps, right? We don't see Crawls at all, but he is mentioned.
Mm-hmm. So that's still like a 6th suspect. We just don't see him.
Yeah. And then there's a bit of a red herring with Cousin Slicker as well, with the elevator going up to his room. Yeah,
with Cousin Slicker and then Cousin Simple being the one who left first. So like, there's you never know what could be happening here.
Yes.
So we got some shit going on here. It's just the episode with the most people in it. Therefore, it's the best one. But also, there's also just stuff going on that it could be.
More people means more potential for an outcome that people don't expect.
Yeah. Well, good shit. Good mystery. Good times. We did it, my dude.
We did.
Can't believe it. Well, it's time to go and split up and look for clues for our next mystery, as we've already kind of split up. Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
Bye.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast's socials at Mysteries in the Machine Pod on Instagram. You can send a message to our email, mysteriesinthemachinepod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Ethan, on Instagram and Threads at ethan.t.hewlin. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. We're here, we're queer, we're going to talk about Scooby-Doo.